Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and for those of you who regularly follow the channel, you will know that I do like to pick up bargain cameras, often on eBay, and yeah, I recently picked up a camera because I needed to address the fact that I'm not really very good at shooting a lot of B-roll in my vlogs. Part of that reason is because I really can't be bothered to change all the setups on my cameras to shoot video and then have to change them all back again to shoot more stills. I find that a major inconvenience. Yes, you can use programmable buttons and things like that, but you're still altering how the camera's going to work, and I'd rather just pull another camera out of the bag and shoot with that, and that would then solve the problem. I do have this, which is the Apeman action camera, and let's face it, we don't really get along very well. I find that it relies on a complicated menu system to find stuff. You have to press different buttons. There's only sort of 3 or 4 buttons on it. However, they do several different functions, and to get through it all, to find the setting you want, to set the camera exactly how you want, is a pain in the backside. And also, if you want it to be weather sealed, you have to use the weather sealed housing, and then you can't hear the microphones. So to be honest, for an outdoor vlogging camera, it's not great. So this leads me on to the next issue, which is that none of the cameras I actually shoot with for photography are actually weather sealed. Now, Britain, as you realise, is not an arid place, so this leaves me with a few issues, especially for B-roll if I'm out having to film and it starts to rain. So a few months ago I decided to address that issue and pick up something that perhaps could withstand a shower or two, and that led me to look at a few different options. Whatever it had to be was, it's going to have to be weather sealed. It had to be idiot proof. As I say, the action camera I find too time consuming and a bit annoying. It also, if it could be capable of withstanding a few knocks in the similar to an action camera, had video and time-lapse functions, that would be great. Light and portable, really helpful. If it had a flip screen for vlogging like this, yeah, that would be ideal. It had to be able to shoot 1080p footage. 4K would have been nice, but as I shoot most of my content in 1080p anyway, that would just be a luxury. And finally, the biggest one of all, it really needed to be on a pocket money budget. I haven't got a fortune to throw at new camera gear. And that last point really does make a big difference. Buying used would mean that I could save a lot of money. However, with that comes a risk. You're never really sure what you're buying, and therefore if I could spend as least as possible, then that would negate some of that risk. So I was looking for cameras costing £50 or less. Now, the Panasonic FZ330 would fit in well with the other Panasonic cameras that I shoot with. It is weather sealed, it has a flip out screen, shoots 4K and 1080p. It's not quite as light and portable as an action camera, but unfortunately for me, I found out that even broken FZ300s were still way above my £50 budget. So then I started to look at camcorders. You remember those, right? Yes, before everyone's phones did fantastic video footage, camcorders were absolutely everywhere. Yes, you can still buy them from the likes of Panasonic and Sony, as well as 1001 cheap Chinese unbranded ones. However, if you want good image quality, it's probably best to stick with a known brand. Sony and Panasonic don't do affordable weather sealed camcorders, so it meant I was on the lookout for an alternative manufacturer. JVC were one of the kings of camcorders back in the day. They still do produce professional level camcorders, but nothing in the consumer lines these days. Back in 2009 they started to produce the Everio range of camcorders, and in 2014 released the Quadproof all-weather camcorder. So what does Quadproof mean? Well, it's resistant in 4 different ways. It's completely water sealed, watertight. You can take this thing underwater, it'll be fine. It's not just shower resistant like a lot of cameras. It is actually dust proof. It's all sealed, again, impervious to dust getting into it, and it's also freeze proof down to -10, and also shock proof, so if should you drop the camcorder from a height of 1.5 meters, it should still work. So this model shoots 1080p footage and also has a 40x optical zoom lens. It has electronic image stabilization. Unfortunately, because it's a completely sealed unit and is likely to be thrown about, that's why JVC didn't go with an optical image stabilization system, which was going to be more likely to get damaged. So what's great then is that if I'm out and I'm shooting some photography on the landscape and the weather turns for the worse, I can run over, get my expensive unweather sealed camera put away first, make sure that's nice and safe, and then come back and sort out this camera knowing that it is not going to get damaged by any wet weather. Similarly, if it's windy, I can make a rush for the good camera on the tripod and then worry about this one, and if it does blow over, it's not going to cause it much damage because it's designed to take those kind of knocks. When new, back in 2014-2015, when these things first came out, they retailed for £329.99, which wasn't exactly small change. So what did I pay for this little weather sealed camcorder? Well, I picked it up on an online auction for a mere £20. So £20, it had to be worth a punt, didn't it? And when it actually turned up from the eBay seller, the camera itself looks absolutely brand new. It's clearly been taken care of, and they even included a 64GB SD card with the camera. One thing which was a bit of a concern with a device like this is the fact that the battery is a sealed unit inside the camcorder itself. However, this one charges up just fine. I was expecting to lose a little bit of the battery life because of its age. However, it all seems well, and I've been shooting with it for the last few months. Before I did make a purchase on this camcorder, I did look at reviews of these camcorders and I knew that the lens wasn't going to be the sharpest lens out there, partially because it's also sealed behind another piece of glass to ensure that the water can't get in. And similarly, the mics I knew weren't going to be as good as another camcorder with a mic that you had a port to plug in an external mic. I knew these onboard mics were going to be a little bit muffled, again because of some of the weather sealing. And these flaws, yep, certainly they are borne out in some of the footage, and you can see that the footage isn't quite as good as some of my other cameras, and the mics are a little bit tinny. However, I think that's worth the trade-off for the fact that it is completely weather sealed. It does make me think, are camcorders useful for YouTube in this day and age? And I still think they are. You just pick up your camcorder, flip out the screen, the camcorder comes on, you start vlogging straight away, start shooting your B-roll, whatever you're going to be doing. And I think if you're looking to get into YouTube on a tight budget, then a camcorder is definitely something worth considering. One other thing to consider, this thing has a 40x optical zoom. How good is the optical zoom on your smartphone? So thank you very much for watching this little video. I hope you've enjoyed it and found it interesting, and maybe given you some food for thought about picking up something like this to help you out shooting B-roll for your own channel. If you have enjoyed it, please do give it a thumbs up, really helps the channel out an awful lot, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.